I've
So
actually
for
got.
outstanding lead actress in a limited series or a movie, the frontrunner is Laura Dern. Popular choice for an upset is Jessica Biel. But Amanda and Tony, you have Jessica Biel in sixth. How about that?
She's not going to win. That's frankly what this comes down to. I think it's a little bit of a fanboy thing that she's so high up. And I think the person we all need to stop and consider is Michelle Dockery. Because
Preach.
when was the last time someone from a TV movie won? 6 years ago when Julianne Moore won for Game Change. You knew? Riley, did I interrupt you?
No.
So is Laura Dern the same as Julianne Moore? Maybe career-wise, you could see how they're somewhat equal, but Game Change and The Tale are going to have very different Emmy nights. It's not going to pick up writing. It's not going to probably win TV movie because it's not nominated. She's the only one in there. They couldn't even get Ellen Burstyn in. And remember, they nominated Sarah Bareilles and Letitia Wright. So I think that as far as the ones we know they've seen, you have to be careful about where you have Michelle Dockery. And then also, Emmy favorite, Edie Falco. You should be careful with where you have her.
Tony, why do you hate Jessica Biel?
This is going to be interesting.
I hate all beautiful people. I never bought the buy-in. I never bought Jessica Biel at the Globes. I don't buy her here either. If we look at the people in this category, first of all, I mean, I'm barely staying awake through this category anyway, because it's just not an interesting category. It's ridiculously weak. But to me, I actually think Dockery might have a better chance than people think. The Tale, first of all, is such a tough sit. It is not a film I enjoyed watching. It is a film I will never watch again. And Dern is very, very good in it. But I have a feeling she got in here because her name is Laura Dern and she's on the ballot. And I don't know that at least we know that the Emmy voters really watched Godless. They liked Godless. So I think people are thinking Dern is the automatic choice. I think predict that at your own risk.
And remember, Michelle Dockery is the only one from a nominated series in this category. I'm just saying. You might want to take that into consideration in your placement, whether you want to put Jessica Biel in third or sixth.
A nominated series that does have a chance, a smaller one, but does have a chance to win limited series. If anything's going to upset Versace in limited series, I think Godless could be the one to do it.
Sure. What do you think, Charlie?
I'm still going with Laura Dern. I think she got in because of the buzz for this show. If she had gotten in purely on name recognition, I think we would see her in the supporting category as well. But I do think that she's the one, and I concur about Michelle Dockery, that I think she's the one to watch out for, and could very well be an Emmy upset. And that's all I got.
All right, yeah, fair enough. And Zach?
Yeah, I think Laura Dern's going to pretty easily win this. I think I don't get this Godless buzz. I don't feel it. I don't hear it. I think it got nominated because it's a well-made series, and the actors are popular in it. But I just think it's going to be one of those things like season 2 of Fargo or American Crime that's going to kind of limp out of the Emmy night without much of anything. Laura Dern is kind of a hot thing right now, which is funny to say because the woman's been around for about 30 years now. And I think people just now sort of realized what a great actress she is, which is why she won for Big Little Lies and why she's been so busy right now, both on the small screen and the big screen. And I mean, let's not forget, she's, playing a Me Too survivor in this. And so there's a lot of relevancy choose that.
But I don't think voters are just going to vote for anyone who plays somebody who's a Me Too survivor. Not to be insensitive to it, but if that's your only reason for making a prediction, I think you need to stop and think about why else to make.
I think there are a lot of reasons to predict Laura Dern.
I did list off a bunch of reasons for predicting.
Oh no! I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying in general. Think of
I mean, I'm just looking at this category, and I don't know. It's pretty weak, so I don't know how this is much of a contest. If Jessica Biel was an actual contender, she would have walked away with the Golden Globe pretty easily. I don't hear a lot of talk about the Menendez murders. I mean, talk about something that really underperformed.
I think it performed equally. That was the only thing I thought the Menendez murders was going to get was Edie Falco.
I mean, if you want to blame the underperformance of The Tale on anybody, I think you have to rest that solely on HBO's feet. I mean, they had 3 television movies this year, one of which was highly acclaimed, one of which got decent reviews, and the other of which was kind of horrible. And the one that was horrible walked away with the most nominations. So, I think you have to, talk to the people who are campaigning for those movies about how well The Tale did. So that's my reasoning. I think she's Laura Dern. She's great in it, and I think she'll win.
I think watch out for the Netflix campaign because they've been pushing Godless hard, so they could definitely make their move here. They've never won a lead acting category, and they want that this year badly. And so this is one of maybe 2 places they could probably get it. So she could definitely take it. She could definitely sneak in. And if Godless has like a good night on the creative arts, I might move her up to first just to try. But
yeah, and let's not pretend that Godless is not. I mean, it got 12 nominations, and it got all the nominations really that it needed. And Dockery is such a major force in that show. Plus, it's really it's one of those glam down performances. I mean, she's out in the middle of nowhere. She's covered in dirt. She's got a different accent.
She's twice widowed. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, she shoots guns. I mean, come on.
She's riding horses. I loved it. I was so surprised to see Lady Mary turn into this cowgirl that I was like, this is awesome.
It's not really quantifiable, but I do feel the same way as Zach does about Godless, where I'm not really sure if there's a ton of passion for it. I feel like Netflix, they funded an expensive campaign, and they got these nominations through visibility and kind of a weak general limited series field. But they did still miss key categories like editing or sound mixing, despite being a Western, for example, with lots of guns and, quite the score. For Laura Dern, I'll say that The Tale, it did really underperform. It only got the 2 nominations. And it's not like HBO is suddenly premiering movies at the end of May. They've always done that. And seldom have they ever had a movie as acclaimed as The Tale, actually. And it did even worse than all their other ones. So that's very concerning. I think it speaks to how people don't really want to watch The Tale. I think that it's got kind of tough subject matter, and I think that's the issue. I think people know what it's about, and they assume it's good, but they don't really want to sit through that. So I wonder if Michelle Dockery can win through visibility on that front. And then I also wonder if Jessica Biel can win on visibility, because even though she's not in a series nominee, it's not like The Tale would have been nominated for series, and maybe The Sinner would have been nominated for movie if it had competed there. I think that The Sinner is not really a prestige project, so it wasn't in contention in a lot of categories, but I think a lot of people saw it based on its ratings and how easy it is to watch. Between nominations and voting for the winners, I would expect that the most seen project of all these is The Tale, because people will be like, okay, fine, I'll watch it finally. What do we think about Regina King, who I think a lot of experts have in the upset position?
Well, I mean, talk about somebody who's upset at the Emmys before. And
Sarah Paulson.
She does have a juicy movie role coming up in If Beale Street Could Talk. I mean, if that was being seen during nominations. In fact, it will be, I think, seen at Toronto maybe during voting. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, if it was being seen right now, I would think that if she was getting good reviews for that movie, it would certainly help her here. I mean, hell, anything can happen in a category this desolate. And it's
That's
not.
not to take anything away from the ladies who are nominated.
I,
It's unfair to like tell them they shouldn't win.
Well, no. Let me be clear about this. I don't think I've respected and admired the work of all the women who are nominated in this category. It's the quality of writing that I'm responding to. It's not the roles that they're given are not of the same caliber as the last few years that we've seen in this category, especially last year where you had Feud and Big Little Lies. So that's what
Carrie
I'm
Coon.
Yes, Fargo. Yeah, that's what I have a very short memory, Amanda. So that's what I'm responding to.
My issue with Regina King is that she lost Laura Dern just last year. So if we're going off of name, then.
And Regina King upset Sarah Paulson for Freak Show, and it all ties together. So, but I would say if it's really weak and they hate all of these and they haven't seen any of them, Edie Falco starts looking really good. I mean, I'm not like I want to put her in second good, but maybe like I want to bump her up to fourth or fifth kind of good.
Along those lines, it's surprising that Elizabeth Moss couldn't get in for a role for which she has previously been nominated.
Yeah, that makes me curious about her chances of repeating in drama actress. But yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us with this category. My final thought is that if we had a panel vote, I think I might actually predict somebody that we haven't really mentioned, which is Sarah Paulson, since she does spend that first episode just screaming for pretty much the whole thing.